Good morning. Thanks for joining me at Coffee with Kory. We've been back in Florida this week. Been a really low-key week, which is really enjoyable at certain times, and we've both still had a lot of fun. Jossie and I took a day trip to Tampa, which we'd never done before, and did a little shopping. Didn't have a huge plan when we went. Went downtown, enjoyed Tampa's Riverwalk, which is pretty impressive, and just all in all had a fun day, and really found how accessible Tampa is from our location here. And so I'm sure that'll be something that we do again. Might have unlocked another fun item for us to continue to explore when we get down here. Of course, I've still made it to the beaches in the morning. That's where I'm at this morning. I'm on Longboat. I'm hopeful that the picture quality of this recording allows us to use it. As I set the camera up this morning, I looked through it. I'm like, wow, it almost looks like it's snowing, but it's not. It's just foggy. So hopefully this is able to be used. The one little thing that I wanted to mention to you guys is the other morning, I got up a little earlier than I have the other mornings we were here, made it all the way to Lido, which is the island that's the furthest away from us that I visit frequently. I caught both sides of the island that I love to go to. Discovered like a little nature walking trail on the north side of Lido that I'd never seen before. So I'll definitely be back to that. And after I had done all of that, still had quite a bit of time before the sun came up. I looked at the clock and I'm like, I think I can make it to Terracea Island and catch the sunrise there. I've been to Terracea just a couple times, and for whatever reason this week I was really drawn to it, and I think it's because Terracea is kind of like its own small town. Frankly, reminds me of Blunt. And if Blunt was in Florida and on an island, it would be Terracea. But anyway, I made it there just a few minutes after the sun came up. And the thing about that little island is there's not really a lot of good spots to pull over and enjoy the scenery or anything. So I'm driving down this little 2-lane road with no shoulder, came to a fork in the road that allowed me to just kind of pull off to one side, bail out, walk across the street, take a few sunrise pictures, and drive away. Spent a little time on the island just driving around while I was there. But that picture of the sunrise, I think, is one of my favorite ones ever. It's so understated to start with, because the sun is covered by the clouds. But if you look at it closely, you see the sun reflected perfectly in the water, which, like I said, I didn't even appreciate it at the moment that I was taking the picture. But once I got back and kind of started going through my pictures from the morning, I was like, wow, that's pretty impressive. So one of those little unexpected treasures that you get later after the experience is over. And so I wanted to make sure that I shared that with you guys, because I had not shared any of those photos on social media yet. The one somewhat work item that I want to chat with you guys about this week is I got an opportunity to have coffee with another real estate professional here. I believe it was last week. And we were talking about business planning and business models. And the item that I really wanted to talk about is, I was laying out what I feel is my business model and business plan. And this person that I was meeting with is really good at this. This is her specialty. And as we chatted, she goes, well, that's kind of a dying business model. And I could tell once she said it, she looked at me, she goes, I'm not trying to offend you. I'm just, telling you, kind of what I'm seeing in the industry and this and that. And it made me, of course, step back a little bit, done a lot of reflecting since the time that we met. And again, as we wrapped up, I gleaned a lot of good information that day. And, there was that element where I think she was glad she relayed the information to me that she did. I could tell that she seemed like she felt bad that she might have offended me. And I want to tell you again, I'm not going to mention you by name, but I can tell you again, as I said that day, that was one of the most beneficial meetings that I've had in a long time. Allows me to continue to sharpen what we're doing, hopefully get some people in place that excel in areas that I don't excel in, and again, just keep pushing everything forward, and hopefully with some tweaks and some improvements, we can take what I've envisioned to be our business model and keep pushing it forward, and make it all happen the way that I'm hopeful it'll happen. It ties back to one quick passage that I've got to tell you about from Matthew McConaughey's book, Green Lights. I told you guys that we might turn this into book club, and it looks like maybe we are. But there's a passage in there where he goes into a long, drawn-out story about his dad and confrontation with one of his brothers, and the part that he leaves with is to lose the power of confrontation is to lose the power of unity, and that stuck with me in the respect that you hear sometimes about business leaders that'll try to and just leaders in general that will try to surround themselves with what's called yes men. I don't want to be surrounded by yes men. I want to be surrounded with and in business with people that will challenge, the people that will disagree, because that's what allows you ultimately to have the best unity as you pull your group together and move it forward. And so I felt like the meeting that I had and that quote from that book tied in together really well. And again, ultimately, confrontation a lot of times makes you stronger, and again, more unified, which is what you really need to have as you're pushing any good company forward. So I wanted to leave you guys with that, and I really appreciate you guys joining me on this foggy morning here on Longboat. Jossie and I will be back in South Dakota next week, and most likely we'll be having coffee from Tavern 88. So I hope you'll join me then, and we'll see you next week at Coffee with Kory.